Okay, so this is just a quick video for Liz and some of the other folks about a couple of common box squat errors, how to fix them, and how to get more out of it. First things first, with setup, when you're taking the bar out of the rack, stand up straight. Even if you're riding a low bar position, there's no need to be kind of kicked forward like this. Especially if you compete in one of the stricter federations, USAPL, something like that. They want to see you upright, hips forward, standing erect. Whenever you unrack the bar, step back. Don't, and this is real common, don't walk back over the box like this and then just try and drop straight down. You can see you got translation at the knee, it's moving way out. In this situation, you can see probably better on this leg, that my knee is even with, if not further out than my big toe. I don't want to get into the mechanics of doing that's bad for your knees. It is a bad box squat. So what you want to do, think about, I've used this analogy before, think about using the toilet. You don't waddle back over it and plop straight down. You stand in front of it. Stand here so you can see it from the side. You stand in front of it and reach back with your butt. First thing that moves, those hips going backwards. If this is your first movement, you're never going to get depth. It's going to be a crappy box squat over and over again. So, first thing, sit back and then up. That's all there is to it. First thing that breaks is your hips backwards, back, spread your knees, try to drop that gut, of which I apparently have plenty, down towards the floor. I've heard somebody describe it as squatting into your knees. And it works if it makes you think of it the right way. Up straight, hips back, sit back, and that's it. And up. Now, if you have a problem where whenever you squat back, you try and squat onto a box, you go, and you fall. You know, the last inch, the last 3 inches, something like that. That's going to be a hamstring and a hip issue. Easiest way to fix it, besides getting your hamstrings and your hips stronger, to learn the box squat form, take a slightly higher box. In this situation, I've gone from 14 inches to about 19, which for me is above parallel. Find a good, nice box height that is just a hair higher than where you dropped to or dropped from. Sit down, back up. Do your box squats from there for a while. Once you get good at a height, I'm fortunate I have the ability to kind of tweak my stuff in about 1 inch increments. Slightly shorter box. In this case, you use the higher box to get the form right, so you don't have to worry about that little drop. In a situation like this, it's going to be, you want to find where that drop is, get just below it with your box height. So whenever you squat down, you have to reach back for it, and you got to control that last little bit before you hit the box, and then back up and back up. That's all there is to it. Couple of points: whenever you squat back, you want the shins as close as vertical as you can. If you are used to being a raw squatter, or you squatted in a commercial gym for a long time, your instinct is going to be somewhere in here with that shin angle. If you come from a much older school where you learned to box squat through reading Dave Tate or Louis Simmons articles, especially Louis, you're going to have, as somebody once called it, the way too far back squat. In that situation, shins are actually pointed up at your head or back behind you. Yeah, you get more hamstring work out of it, you can get more hip work out of it, but you can never replicate this in real life. At least not with any appreciable amount of weight. And if you're box squatting, you probably want a big box. You probably want a big squat. So, another thing, foot placement. Tried to explain this to folks before. With foot placement, where you would start a jump from is not going to be your best foot placement for any squat, in particular a box squat. think about, you can line yourself up and you want to jump and land like you're landing on an unstable surface. So it's not here and here, be here and kind of there, like you're getting ready for something. That's going to be your starting point. You can see that translates to that. For me, that is my preferred stance whenever I'm having to walk out a box squat or I'm having to squat raw. With gear and a monolift, it's a completely different game. But that's the big thing. One last point, when you're on the box, and I know I don't have a bar on my back, but when you're on the box or you're in any good squat, there's going to be a line. Shoulder, knee, ankle. They're all going to be pretty much in that line. That's that center of gravity where you're going to be strongest. Keep that nice neutral head position. Don't look at the ceiling. Don't look at the floor. Think about pulling your head and your neck back into your traps, almost like you're trying to give yourself kind of that fat neck look. And then there and up. That's all there is to it. So, like I was saying, slightly wider stance. Still not going to be so much that you can't walk it out, take one step to each side and you're done. Sit back by pushing your hips back. First thing that moves, hips going backwards. If you need a coaching cue on this, you can't really do this to yourself except to think back, back, back. But get your partner, whoever you're squatting with, get them to say back over and over and over again. They'll start to sound like a duck eventually. Back, 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 back. You'll hear that and it'll get you to start thinking back. The other thing is, if you're having a really hard time doing it, get your training partner or whoever you're working out with and get them to tap you right here as you go, as you sit back. Just get them to tap you to remind you to break those hips backwards. And start on a higher box than you need to if your form isn't the greatest. Remember, think about keeping the shins vertical, the line, shoulder, knee, ankle. And that's pretty much the size of it. So you guys don't have an excuse now.